enter an immediate writ of eviction. Mr. Jones has been nothing but uncooperative.
They're going to make my 74-year-old granddad a homeless man. But it's okay if you don't care about that.
Okay, so the next case is Jin Jin Chan.
Didn't nobody make your 75-year-old granddad a homeless man. But y'all, just a little extra context. Apparently, this guy was interrupting the judge and just piling on a bunch of excuses as far as why the rent has been going unpaid for so long. And also, according to the information I have here, apparently he rejected a lifeline that they tried to throw to him as far as some rental assistance. And he smugly rejected it, apparently. So that's what we're going to be reviewing. Without further ado, let's get back into it, y'all.
Versus Tyrese Jones and Elena Borrego. See, Mr. Jones has joined us.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Victoria Osborne for the plaintiff, Jin Jin Chan.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
So this is a motion for summary to set aside the default. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor, that defendant filed.
Have you had a chance to speak with him about this?
I have had a chance to speak with him. He maintains that the reason he could not attend the last Zoom hearing because his grandfather had a medical incident. I have not received any sort of proof of that. And the hearing was via Zoom. I have also spoke with Mr. Jones regarding just his tenancy in general. And he apparently has been reaching out to the VA and other sources of assistance. But in order to assist him, they are requiring my client to reduce the rent and revise her lease, which she's not willing to do. She would like Mr. Jones to vacate the premises.
Okay. Mr. Jones, you heard what she said, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have a response?
The only way we can go through with this process is if we get an actual eviction. So if we can move forward with the eviction and do it for the date of the 6th.
The 6th of September, or?
Yes, the 6th of September. We can do an eviction for the 6th of September. That works out perfectly for me and the VA and the hard dash.
I don't think I actually signed an eviction on this file.
So it sounds like he's ready to move out. But the question that is coming to my mind is, are you planning on paying back that $12K that you owe? See, that's the important thing. Let's see if he addresses that $12,000.
No. Did I sign?
No, Your Honor, you only signed a judgment and Mr. Jones filed a motion to set aside default.
Correct, because I wasn't present. You guys didn't call me to see what was going on either, but I was in the emergency room with my granddad.
Mr. Jones, the way that this works is we don't actually call people. We send out a notice of the hearing and you're supposed to show up. If you don't show up, you get a default against you, which is which happened on June 5th. So I suppose, and I'll just ask Ms. Osborne if she has any objection, that you can stipulate that.
He's talking about you didn't call me. Brother, we most definitely know where you live. So we know you got that letter in the mail. But he's talking, that's why he strategically said, you didn't call me, I didn't get a phone call. Because he know he got that letter. And then he tried to further the excuse by saying he was in the hospital with his granddad. So that's twice now he's using his granddad as an excuse. Looking for sympathy is what it seems like. But what are you doing is what I want to know. Like, if you don't pay me $12,000 and you're not working 3 jobs, we got a problem.
That would be the date for the eviction to become effective. Ms. Osborne?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I cannot stipulate to that. Mr. Jones has been nothing but uncooperative through this whole process. I'm going to ask the
I'm
court.
going to object to the hearsay of
Mr.
me not
Jones,
cooperating.
why are you interrupting?
I was just objecting to the hearsay of me not cooperating.
You cannot speak when somebody else is speaking. That's rude. What I'm actually trying to do is to get her to agree to what it is that you asked me to do. Because right now, the order for you to have vacated is dated June 15th. It's a couple months ago. But because of what you said to me, she might not have an objection to that. But I think that based on the prior contact that you guys have had, she's not willing to agree to that.
Correct, Your Honor. I'm asking the court to enter an immediate writ of eviction upon submission, of course.
Let me ask him a couple of questions because he filed a motion to set aside the default.
What you mean? Ask a few
Why
questions.
did you file the motion to set aside the default? What is your meritorious defense? It sounded like you were saying that you had a conflict that day because your grandfather was ill.
I was in the emergency room with my grandfather.
What proof do you have of that?
I don't have any proof of that. I can go show you my grandfather's condition, but it's nothing I can really.
So then you understand that in order for me to be able to do that, there has to be good cause and a meritorious defense. It actually says that on the order form that you sent me. So you'd have to be able to establish those two things in order for.
The judge is letting him off a little too easy right here. I would want to say, oh, well, what hospital and what day was this? So we have something to pin him to. And I would even lie. I'd be like, so we plan on calling that hospital and finding out. We need your grandfather's name too. Even though I wouldn't do it, I feel like he would stop capping if they did that. But I was noticing as far as like the text there, he was I was wondering about that because it says order to vacate June 15th, but the date of this hearing is August 27th. So I thought that that was like an error. So that's why I didn't even say anything about it. But he was already ordered to vacate over a month ago. So why are we back here in court? And then when they say we want a writ of eviction, the judge is like, well, hold on, let me ask some more questions. What do you mean? You already ordered them to vacate the premises and they're still there. And then he's asking to extend it to September.
For me to consider what it is that you're asking me to do.
This is the first time, Your Honor, someone has asked me to prove anything.
Okay. Well, but that's
If someone would have told me to bring proof, I'm sorry for interrupting, Your Honor. Someone would have told me to bring proof, I would have brought proof. But this is the first time anybody, even Victoria Osborne, which we were having phenomenal communication. You can check our emails. I don't know why she's acting like that was conflict. This is all new to me.
well. But the basic bottom line is that the law says that I should have good cause and a meritorious defense to consider what it is that you're asking me to do. And it doesn't sound like that actually exists right now.
No, Your Honor. It's a
Hold on, Osborne. I'm talking to Mr. Jones.
So pretty much through this process, they did not try to decrease the rent for Mrs. Chan. They tried to pay her $12,000, and she turned the $12,000 down. So I had to we had to restart our process so we can try to get the process going through an actual eviction. So what I'm asking for the courts in Victoria is if we could get an eviction date for the 6th. That way I can set things up for my disabled grandfather to have somewhere to be until we can get this VA and HUD situation figured out. Otherwise, you're going to make my 74-year-old granddad a homeless man. But it's okay if you don't care about that.
Mr. Osborne?
yes, Your Honor. Just to clarify, Mr. Jones, I am not making your grandfather a homeless man. You are the one who did not pay your rent. And in June,
The VA
Anybody else starting to get the feeling that this brother right here is living with his grandfather and living off his grandfather's disability and not working himself? That's what I'm starting to pick up on from this situation. I'm getting the feeling that he's living for free under his grandfather's disability, under the guise that he's his caretaker, and he's just sitting around playing video games all day. I could be wrong.
Yay asked me not to
Hold on,
pay
hold,
rent.
hold, hold on,
Chan
hold
does
on,
not
hold
understand
on, hold
English.
on. We're not going to have a big, huge discussion like that. We're not fighting about this.
Right.
Either you guys can agree to it or you don't. But there's no reason for us to fight. The law is the law, and there's an exception to the law if she's willing to grant it. She's not willing to grant it, Mr. Jones. That's really the end of the discussion. There's no reason to fight about this.
I'm not trying to fight. It's just the fact that they haven't been cooperating, and I've been cooperating with everything. The VA, HUD-VAS, SSVF has tried to reach out to Chan and everybody involved, and they have been doing nothing but saying, no, 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 I don't like Mr. Jones. I don't. That has nothing to do with the process. The process was supposed to be the SSVF was going to pay her backwards $12,000. HUD-VAS was going to pay her for full rent, not reduced rent. I don't know who told Miss Vicky that it was going to be reduced. It was never going to be reduced. I think they were going to increase it, but my whole thing is the process. I needed to be done for September 6th. I'm standing on that. I'm not changing it. If we need to go forward with another court date, then I'm fine with that.
Well, there's no other court date that would be coming forward. I'm just going to grant the denial of the motion to set aside the default. I don't find that there's good cause or meritorious defense. So I'll sign the order and it'll be effective as of today.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I submit a application for eviction?
See, that's the game plan for these tenants. They just want to keep having these court dates because nothing happens until it's ultimately settled, right? So the more court dates they have, the more time they have to not pay anything.
You can go ahead and submit it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is there a way I can object to this, Your Honor?
Not that I'm aware of.
Get a lawyer.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Judge Allen. Have a great afternoon.
Okay.
I wish we could look more into these people's backgrounds, or I wish that the judge would try to look more into the background of like, what are you doing, sir? What did you do yesterday? What did you do last week? Like, where do you work? And of course, we already know that she's probably not going to get that 12,000 back, right? Which is the equivalent of $1,000 a month. But he's still trying to object. You've already gotten over it in such an amazing way. You 12,000, and he still wants to object because that's old news. Regardless of however he's violated in the past, all he knows is that, well, still I still want to have a place to lay my head today. So he's not worried about none of that. Because a lot of times in these situations, they're not stewarding their resources correctly. And because they're not paying, they just spend it. They're not even saving it, right? So that's probably the case. And it's really sad because you probably have a pretty good situation with your granddad. You could still chip in and make sure that things are moving smoothly. But you want to violate and you want to try to get over and use the system and really victimize the landlord. That's really what you're doing. The landlord is the victim in this ultimately. And to be wanting more time, nah, man, I'm not giving you more time so you can mess my stuff up out of spite, even though you've already gotten over on me. Imagine you've already gotten over on somebody. You've already not paid them for all this time, and then you still damage their stuff. Not saying that's him, But that's usually typically what happens in these situations. So we'll leave it there, y'all. Like the video. Also subscribe if you want to join Limitless Legion. And Cash App link below if you want to tip the channel. Buy your boy iced coffee. And also feel free to join the Patreon where I do post exclusive self-improvement content that's not on YouTube. But until then, I'll catch you guys in the next video.